From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, They come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blurs. Blurred powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy.
There's going to be a lot of background noise since I got this fan blowing here. But in any case,
I don't hear anything.
What about now?
No, I mean I don't hear your fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, you gotta be specific with me because there's a lot of things going on here. Because I'm so used to you guys hearing like other voices during the stream and stuff, so I just want to make sure that stuff is not happening right now.
Right.
In any case, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Council. I know we've been gone for we've only been gone for a week. We haven't been gone that long, so
2 weeks.
Yeah, we haven't been gone that
it has been 2 weeks. Oh, wow, okay.
It's been 2 weeks.
All right, okay. So
But we know y'all missed us.
So we're back, and actually, what we want to talk about today is something that's been actually keeping our interest for a while now. Originally, the PlayStation, I guess the press release, I guess that's what you want to call it, the PlayStation 5 press release, it was supposed to originally, premiere on the 4th, but given everything that's happening in the outside world, they decided to push it back, which is really cool of them to do, of course, because they understand what's happening out in the world. So they released it today, and boy, do we got a lot to talk about here. That the only thing we've gotten as far as the PlayStation 5 was the controller. That's the only thing we got. They finally gave us the console today, as well as, some of their more exclusive games that we're going to be getting once it releases later on this year. I was hoping we'd have a little bit longer to purchase a PlayStation 5. I mean, granted, I'm not going to get it at launch anyway, because I never get a game console at launch. I usually wait a while until a lot of things are worked out and to see what's going on. But, I mean, trust and believe, we'll be getting a PlayStation 5, so... I mean, most of you guys who know me or watch me game, I'm a strictly PlayStation person. I've had every single PlayStation console. I've never had any of the handhelds, but I have PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, needless to say, a 5 is definitely in my future. But the way they did the press conference was actually really cool. They saved the console reveal until like the very end, which is a good way to close it. So we got a lot of good Got a lot of good scenes of like what their exclusives are going to be coming out later on this year and early next year. And there's a lot of games that I saw that was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to like get back into like being an avid gamer again because I really haven't been one. Like the quarantine is kind of affording me that chance to really get back into gaming a lot, but. But other than that, I usually try to make time to game if I'm usually working. But since the free time, I've been gaming a lot. Really, it's only been between 2 games, so that, I guess you can't really call that gaming, but even so. Final Fantasy VII Remake was taking a lot of my time. It still is because I'm still not done. I haven't started playing it on hard mode yet. And Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath dropped last week, and I was playing that for the remainder of the week. And I'm still not done with that game either. So there's still a lot that I got to get through with these games. Not to mention the games that I downloaded and some games that I just decided to just like not kind of care about after a while. So. But I will say a lot of the exclusives for PlayStation 5, to me, they kind of trump the exclusives for. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Kim, you're a fellow PlayStation person like me, so
So when they first started everything with the launch, I wasn't expecting to go directly into gameplay automatically. I was expecting like some talk or a little bit about that, and they went directly into the gameplay. And a couple of things kind of stood out, and a couple of things kind of just like stayed in the background.
yeah.
And a couple of these games are really catching my eye now, mainly because the graphics of these gameplays look exactly the same way they're looking right now on my screen. I really want to play them,
Right.
like yesterday. And it seems like they have a lot more presence as far as, I hate to say it this way, but a lot more ethnic presence coming out with the games, the upcoming games, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So you're starting to see more of like a kind of a switch in the dynamic as far as what's happening and everything that, and I really am starting to appreciate that more. It's making me want to actually start going back into gaming, like on a regular basis, because that was the same thing. You start working, you start adulting, your gaming process. You can't game as much as you want to because you have to still maintain, a healthy life, cooking, cleaning, adulting, all that stuff.
Right.
It makes me want to actually take off a week and just play video games.
Agreed.
An entire week and just do that. One of the things that shocked me was their second preview. Actually, the second game preview they actually put out was the actual Spider-Man preview.
Yes.
And I as soon as I saw that skin color, as soon as I saw that color, I said, "Hold on!" I said, "Miles, hold on, wait a second, Miles."
It's funny because we were watching the trailer, and I was looking at the guy's arm. I'm like, and I'm like, is that Spider-Man?
I knew it was Spider-Man when I saw the arm. When the camera started to pan up the arm, I was like, is it Miles? Is it Miles? Then I saw the mask. I was like, it's Miles. Yes.
Now I'll be
Miles Morales got his own game.
Now
the title, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Exactly. It was just like one of those moments. I even remember the exact moment. The exact moment it came up. I'm like, and you saw exactly when it came up. I said, "Hold up, Miles? Question mark?" I'm like, "Hold on, wait a second. Like, I'm not ready for this. I was not expecting Miles to come up the second.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I still haven't finished the actual Spider-Man game. I'm still playing it. I probably should have beat it a long time ago, but I just kept. I was inconsistent with my gaming. Let's just say that. The fact that we're getting a Miles Morales based Spider-Man game, I think is going to be. It's going to be a top seller. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to jump on that.
Yeah.
The graphics, of course, look very much like the Spider-Man game that we have right now. So there's not much of a change, but it's Miles Morales. So between that and how we have with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it's gonna give people a lot of Into the Spider-Verse vibes. I'm very interested to see what the story is gonna be about for this one. So that's definitely gonna be on the list. That's for damn sure. What are the games that they announced? They dropped a lot. They actually dropped a fair amount of.
I can actually count them all for you if you give me 1 second. I actually wrote them all down.
Do it.
I used to be big into Grand Theft Auto. And I fell off on it, but now I'm like, I like turned the can. I was like, can I have it?
26 games.
26.
Wow.
26 games.
That's pretty solid.
Actually, which I'm actually very proud of PlayStation, because one of the biggest things for PlayStation, when they usually came out with the consoles, they never had any really good looking games set to come out right away.
Yeah.
Always, you go in there, you have like these mediocre like Lego games, and not bashing Lego games. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bashing them. There's an audience for them. It's just not me. But you usually have these like really like mediocre games, with the exception of Uncharted when we got the the original PlayStation.
Right.
Not the original, but PlayStation. Where are we going back at 2?
2, just about. I think. Yeah. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think how far we are now at this point. I'm like, we have 5 already. God.
Yeah.
But you're coming out, like, you're talking about these heavy hitter games that are coming out left and right, that they're just like kind of just 1-2 punching you with automatically. You're just like, hold on, wait a second. Now I can see what you're trying to do is you're trying to compete. You're coming out here to compete, because that's one thing you never did before. You relied on your system, but I think at this point you're relying on your actual product in general, because a lot of these games are going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
And they came out with like the titles that PlayStation has been known for, the licensed games that PlayStation has been known for. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank. Oh man, what else? I know I'm missing something.
But even then, like, okay, and somebody correct me, because I haven't played Gran Turismo since like forever long ago, because I'm not a racer. But the first question I asked, I said, has it always been first person experience to that extent? Because I'm looking at the first person experience, I feel like I'm in the car. I feel like I'm sitting in the car.
I think recently, because I mean, I'm just like you. I'm not a big race game player. Not just like maybe like PlayStation like 1. And that's really like car games were never really my big thing. But I know like in most race car games you can like change the aspect ratio to how you want to drive, whether it's like from the outside view of the car to like the inside view. I think the fact that you get to actually see the dashboard and your hands on the steering wheel, that might be something that's fairly new. I could be wrong. Some of you guys could probably help me out in the comment section and let me know if that's actually a thing. I mean, I know Gran Turismo is like one of the top tier racing games that's come out. We don't have racer anymore. I can't remember when the last Need for Speed game came out. I haven't touched a Need for Speed game in a good while. So
I know I was more into Need for Speed when I was younger, and I know they didn't call it first person view. They called it something else, like dash view, hood view,
something like that. That sounds about right. Yeah.
So that was like I think that was like the closest thing we had to first person.
Yeah, because looking at it, like it looked like I was in the car, and that was the first thing I noticed when I started talking about graphics. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, these graphics they look a little clean. They look too clean. They look way too
very
clean.
crisp.
And I'm like, wait a second. I'm just staring at it. I'm like, I've never played a racing game. I'm like, I'm just not that type. But I'm just sitting there like, I kind of want to just feel like I'm, riding around in a race car and just doing that. The graphics are actually the same in game. It kind of makes me want to do it because I can.
Yeah.
Another game that stood out for me, and I'm kind of bouncing around at this point because I'm bouncing around. And me and Harold got on this real fast. That Ghostwire Tokyo game.
Ghostwire Tokyo, yo, that's up my alley.
We went. We both had the same reaction. It was kind of like I was like, hold on, wait a second. I'm like, what? Because it's too much going on. It's like it's
supernatural, cyberpunk, horror, all mixed up and everything. I said, now this is my type of thing. This is my ish. Okay, I could do this.
I'm like, it was just too much. I was like, as soon as you saw the thing, you're like, okay, you see the intro. The intro looks so beautiful and it looks so magical. And you just see, all of a sudden, you just see somebody's head turned around and you're like, but it's like
and the headless schoolgirl.
Yeah, and I'm like, and the best part. So the first thing I thought about was like Silent Hill. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Exactly.
That was the first thing that came to mind was Silent Hill. I'm like, oh my god, this is so Silent Hill right now. But it actually doesn't look as that terrifying. Like it's something I can probably play because I don't play horror games.
Right.
So it looks like something I'm on that cusp that I can play and say I'm getting away playing a horror game, but it actually looks really, really, really neat. That really stood out to me.
Speaking of horror games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We should save that for last. We should save that for last. No. Save the best for last. Make them watch.
No. Oh my God. I know exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly that's exactly what I was gonna bounce to next because that was, and I even wrote it. I was like when I was watching, because you have to understand for people that haven't watched the release yet, or the press release yet, you haven't. What they were doing for a lot of the games is that they were just throwing the games out. So you just saw trailers. So you just saw previews.
One after another.
Yeah.
With a little bit of commentary.
Yeah, and for some of them, not all of them. Like some of them you just threw at you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just standing there and you're like, and you're sitting up there and you're watching this. And again, I'm typing up everything at this point. So I'm sitting here just going at it. And the first thing that comes out of my mouth was like, I'm like, Resident what?
Yep.
First, it just said village.
It said village at first.
I wasn't even there. While the preview was even going. I'm like, this is giving me Resident Evil vibes.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, it does not give me. Like, it's giving me Resident Evil, but it's not. I'm like, it doesn't look like Resident Evil. I'm like, what is going on?
I'm taking it back to 7.
Yeah.
Y'all made me rewind when you saw that. Basically, for the audience out there, we were all working and tuning in while while we were watching this. I said at least Ken and I were. Not sure what Harold and Kim were doing. So
I was
based on the commentary, if I saw my phone blow up. And based on what their reactions were, I would have to go back. I'm like, shit, what they talking about? Like,
yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, because it was just one of those things that kind of came out at you. You kind of you kind of see that whole it's a horror game. That's the bottom line. It's a horror game. It's flat out. You already knew, and you're kind of going through, and you just see somebody just get snatched up, and you're like, what?
Yep.
Just by looking at the design of the game,
yes,
I got very heavy Resident Evil 7 vibes
that's exactly where I went with. Cause I was like, that's what exactly I was like. I'm getting Resident Evil, but I'm not getting Resident Evil.
And then the word village popped up. I was like, and then it highlighted the Roman numerals. I was
highlighted the
8 because I rewound it and I'm like, wait, is this it?
And it was like psych.
then Resident Evil popped out. I was like, yeah, because I believe I think Resident Evil was called Biohazard, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It was called Resident Evil's taken a different direction ever since 7. I unfortunately didn't get to play 7. I played the demo and I enjoyed the demo a lot. But at the time I was just working. I was just working so much that I couldn't really devote myself to playing the game. So I don't know. This Resident Evil 8 might have to be it. That might have to be the one to bring me back into the Resident Evil franchise here because I played 1, 2, 3.
Did I read right that maybe I saw from out of the corner of my eye or as I was putting my contact lenses on, but I saw something to the fact that his final chapter or something like that. Like this is Chris Redfield's final adventure.
Yeah.
I think it said something. I'm like, I think it said something to that effect. It's something to that effect. I don't know what it was. But
yeah.
Because it kind of was like everything was like. I'm gonna tell you, this is like a sensory overload. Everything they threw at us, it was too much. Like you going from one and and some of them you had a chance to kind of just woo-saw and get over it and kind of do these games. But a lot of these games, you were like, huh? Like wait a second.
I did read prior to the trailer coming out. I did read that Resident Evil 8 was going to go back to the style of Resident Evil 7.
7.
So I wasn't sure what I was looking at, and then Village came up, and then it highlighted the V111 and Resident Evil. And I was like, oh my God! And then me and Kim had the energy flow through from my brain to hers and back. And yes.
Like I said, I don't play it. I will watch you play all day long. When it comes to Resident Evil, I will watch you play all day long. But I will not touch you with a 10-foot pole. Resident Evil is that is where I kind of draw the line, because I will have vivid dreams for 25 years if I play Resident Evil all the way through. I will never sleep again.
Okay, well, there is a possibility that I might be able to swing a PS5 this year.
Look, man,
and I will stream.
Man, listen, man.
I will stream.
Man, listen, man. I need that second stimulus check to come in for this, like, because we.
This is what I'm hearing, right? We're all gonna be partying in Harold's house. That's all I hear. Because
when Harold gets his own house.
Yeah, we're gonna party at Harold's house, because I'm not even getting a PS5 this year. I'm probably gonna wait until
I'm definitely not getting it this year. That is definitely something that's going to be like a next year. That's definitely a 2021 thing.
Yeah, it's going to be 2021 thing.
Yeah,
we'll see how many more contracts we'll see how many more contracts that get in this year, and then maybe that'll be a Christmas present.
Never buy first gen. Never buy first gen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Never buy.
I got lucky. I got lucky with my PlayStation 4. My PS4 is the first gen, and I haven't had any issues with it. So I was lucky, but I did not get it at launch. I got my PS4 I think around the time when Mortal Kombat X came out. I think that's when I purchased my own PS4. And other than that, I waited.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because that's what happened with my PS3. I had to replace my PS3 on PS3 as first gen, and it was one of the ones that had the backwards compatibility.
Mine too. I had the same thing.
I was so sad that I had to get rid of that PlayStation.
I didn't buy it at launch, but I probably bought it a couple months after. I loved that system so much, and the same way with you, Kim. I hated having to get rid of it because I was really reluctant to get a Slim. I really tried my best to find another Fat Boy PS3, but it's they were very scarce at the time. So I was the backwards compatibility was gone. So I was like, damn.
Yeah, but once you got the Slim, that was it.
Yeah.
But it was it's whatever at this point. Any game that I want to play, I rebought it for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Now, speaking of backwards technology, I don't, because the signal went out for a couple of minutes, and I know I missed a lot of
They didn't mention anything as far as specs are concerned. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Letting you guys know, heads up. There wasn't much as far as specs or anything like that. So they didn't give you any details as far as what was going on, what was inside the actual PlayStation. So a lot of that stuff is still kind of up in the air.
Yeah. So more than likely, that information probably won't come out for the next till close to the launch, when they really just go in depth on the PlayStation 5.
Because you know how PlayStation does. They're gonna have 3 different consoles. They're gonna have one that's 850, one that's a 2 terabyte. And one
I will say this though, and I know I think we all in agreement that we're kind of saving the console reveal for the last topic. I will say this though, I thought it was very interesting of them that they showed us that they have a disc version of the PlayStation 5 and a digital version of the PS5. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll talk about that.
Kendrick, you went too far already.
We'll talk about we'll save but I'm saying we're gonna save the design of the PS5 for last. Pretty sure I know all you guys have probably seen it.
But too far already. Oh my goodness. I wasn't gonna get to that point yet, because I have a lot to say about that.
Well, let's save that for the end. Let's keep talking about the games that they dropped upon us.
So as far as let's see, I'm trying to think whatever the games that stood out for me. Well,
there was
one that Kena Bridges, the Bridge of Spirits.
Okay.
That was the one made by Ember Labs.
Ember Labs.
Yes.
And I looked up Ember Labs because I'm like, are those two brothers?
Yeah, there was a brother. It was a brother. It's actually Ember Lab with LAB, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I know the person who owns the copyright to Ember Labs.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I went to them first by accident.
Yeah, I know the person who owns Ember Labs, but I know the person who owns Ember Lab is a different person entirely, and that's a brother. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that game, my first impression, I'm gonna say my first impression when I first saw it, open it up, I'm like, oh my god, it's so adorable. That was my first reaction. That was I'm gonna be completely honest. It was adorable. Second, I was like, oh my god, I want to play this game. I'm like, it looks like it has a great storyline. It looks like it has a very good, very good story to it. I'm just like, it's giving me Zelda vibes, like female Zelda vibes, and and I just want to play the game.
I am.
It's like a female Link almost. Like, I really want to kind of go through that journey with her and kind of get through it. And it looks, it looks very intricate in my opinion. But what were you gonna say, Ken?
That's another one that's on my radar also. I'm surprised at the amount of games that they announced today that really caught my eye. I mean, wow. I'll be honest with you. I've never really sat and watched like a full PlayStation like press conference release. This is like the first one I've actually sat and watched from like beginning to end. Probably because I had the time to do it. Normally, I'm at work.
I like that they kept it short.
Mm-hmm.
I think this worked out for them then when they have like a audience and they're on stage and stuff, because now they have like much more reason to talk and like give a bit more like mundane details. But like here, they probably figured like, okay, these people are at home. They probably don't want to hear us sitting. They probably don't want to hear us talking all day. We gotta show some fire. So let's just put trailers together for all our launch titles and let's let them decide on what they want to do.
Let's talk about the hack and slash craziness that was Godfall.
Okay,
What did I say?
Oh yeah, it was Skyrim on acid. That was
Skyrim on
acid. That was my response. As soon as I saw it, I'm like,
I was really trying to figure out like, are these like Egyptian gods or something?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the design of them, they like
straight up knights.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, he's swinging that sword, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm a little conflicted. I was like, I want to play it just to play it, but I'm not sure I want to play it just to play it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm so confused.
That's definitely that game is definitely on the list. I am man,
about, like hacking and slashing through enemies and leveling up and getting better armor and getting better weapons and everything, just being indestructible, godlike, Godfall. There you go.
And the fact that they highlighted all of that in that trailer, I was like, yeah, you done sold me already. So you don't got to worry about that.
It was just right here. It was just right here. Like you came in, it was just like slash. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, like I'm just here for the show, but okay. The other one that kind of we were questioning because we didn't know, they gave us like a little clip, like they gave us a little bit of like a taste of it, and we kind of want more. That was that project. I think is Athea.
Yes.
Where I asked, I said, "It looks. Is that a sister?"
I'm like, yeah. I think. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I know she's. I mean, she may be of color. I don't know. I can't tell. It's like because it was just enough to make you want to go like, okay, what is this about?
Yeah.
It was just enough. Like I'm like, okay, you piqued my interest. Now tell me what else is going on.
Right. So I that is definitely a game that I want to touch. I want to touch that. I want to touch the game.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm having a personal moment. I'm gonna tell you my personal moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to reach up there and get that game because I swear if I reach up there and get that game, I actually have to finish playing it. But I have been playing this game since the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
And that's Little Big Planet.
Oh, it was cool.
Little Big Planet is adorbs. Are you kidding me?
It was.
When I saw my little sack puppet and his little freaking tiger outfit, I said, "Oh my god!"
I played that demo over and over and over again. I never bought the game, but I just loved playing it.
I told Tanya that I played the game for a little bit, and it was fun, but at the time, I don't think it was really for me. But it was cool to see him back. Actually, it was cool to see him back.
Yeah.
It was cool to see Sackboy back. It was cool to see Ratchet and Clank back.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. That was one of those moments where I was sitting there, and I even wrote it to you guys. I'm like, I kind of want to play it just for this nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like the gameplay just reminds me of Arkham Knight so bad. Like the movements are very side to side, kind of like jerky type of, and I'm like, I can see myself getting sick playing this game.
It like that's gonna be one of those games where it's gonna like take you a while to get used to like the controls and how the gameplay works.
Yeah.
I'm
going on.
And I'm saying that for myself because like you said, there's a lot going on with that game. You'd have to take like a few practice rounds just to like get it together playing that. But
because they were talking about it was like dimensional link. So basically, it's like you're not just playing one dimension. You're basically like hopping from one area to another. And I'm like, and so you're just watching the gameplay, which is what I like that they did, is that they actually put gameplay actually in the actual scene.
Yeah.
So you see him kind of like sliding from this side, sliding from that side, kind of pointing his gun there, and then kind of dragging himself in there. So he's not like dimensionally popping everywhere.
Yeah.
But that side to side motion that he does, like he's moving very much side to side.
Mm-hmm.
Very like, it's a smooth movement. Don't get me wrong, but smooth movement.
That's what he said.
It's a smooth movement, but it's kind of one of those things. Like I said, it just reminds me of Arkham Knight, where it's kind of like that's the reason why I haven't finished the game, is because I literally can't without getting sick.
Right.
So it's like I kind of have that feeling I want to play, but I have a feeling that it's not going to be beneficial to me to actually get that part done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed. Destruction All Stars. I don't know if you guys are watching that, and I'm like, it's just way too much. I don't know if it's just a trailer.
It feels very much in the vein of like Overwatch and like Fortnite and stuff like that. Play those games.
Yeah, they really do those games.
But I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of the game, and you're probably, and it's killing me because in the back of my head, with the ice cream truck, and you're driving around, and you're freaking
Twisted Metal.
That's what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of Twisted Metal, and I'm sitting there watching the trailer, and the whole time I can see it, I just can't figure out the name of it. I'm just gonna see it in my mind. I'm like, I just see Twisted Metal, just a whole bunch of chaos happening in front of me. And I don't know if that's what they meant with the trailer, but it kind of came off like it's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna be all out.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like I don't really, like I said, I don't do those games. Like everyone who's like out there playing Fortnite and like Overwatch, I'm like, more power to you because I can't do it. Like I need a clear mission game that I can just go in.
Overwatch fan film, that was pretty cool.
I mean, those are cool. I mean, the fan films.
Because I was amazed how they pulled it off.
But
yeah.
But.
Let's see. You gonna say but? I just saw a game that I had to actually stop and remember if I ever played any of the games prior to it.
What game was that?
Hitman 3.
Oh,
it looked cool. I never played Hitman, but it did look cool.
I was sitting there looking at that game, and I'm just like, I have never played. I don't think I've ever played a Hitman before in my life.
I'm not a Hitman fan, but like I played a couple of demos. Like it's one of those things where it's like you're pulling off assassinations. It's not like full on battle stuff. It's like you're pulling out. You're like putting. I mean, you do get into some battles, but it's more like you're sent to assassinate somebody. You sneak in. It's what do you call it? It's a stealthy assassination sort of a thing. Yeah.
I was never big into Hitman either. I had a lot of friends who played it, but I was like, I mean, it looks cool, but yeah.
I'm like, I might just buy it just to play it, just because of the fact that it just looks like it's, it looks a little bit different from the other ones. Makes sense. But the one that actually made me want to kiss the developers, I want to go kiss them. I want to go hug them and kiss them and like. Bethesda, where did you come from? That came from left field. That came from left field.
I
have no clue. Deathloop.
Look here. Look. Let me tell you something. Look, let me tell you something.
From left field.
Deathloop. I think that's gonna be one of my favorites. Deathloop looks like it's gonna be insane, and the fact that it has like a time travel type of thingy, Groundhog's Day kind of thing happening here is like, look,
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. Like they already have you sold at assassins, like trying to kill each other. So I'm getting like Smoking Aces vibes.
And then you heard his voice.
Yeah.
You heard his voice, and you're like, it's a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a brother. I'm like,
It's a brother.
So like I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Deathloop. Deathloop is probably gonna be one of them sleeper hits. I think Deathloop is gonna be one of those sleeper hits for real.
Did you know what
And I love
happened
the
is
look.
that
Yeah.
you know what happened automatically when they started playing it? The first things that came out of my head, BioShock, Fallout.
Yeah.
The first two games that came out of my head, I was like, "What a second!" I'm like, and as soon as I said Fallout and they said Bethesda, I said,
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that look. I love the look.
"Oh, okay." I'm like, "So that's what you've been sleeping on? That's what you did, huh?" I was like, "But." I'm like, I really want that game. Like, I really, really, truly want that game because it's like it's totally different. You're basically, you're an assassin. You're being followed by an assassin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna have a lot of people on their toes playing the game because it's like not only do you gotta take people out, you gotta be careful not to get taken out either. Like I said, definitely Smoking Aces vibes I'm getting from this game.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
I cannot wait.
I can't wait for Deathloop.
I cannot wait.
Deathloop, Project Athea, Godfall. I think those are my top 3 right now that I definitely want to purchase for a PlayStation 5.
I think I would go with.
Grand.
I don't have a top. I just had a list of things that piqued my interest. So Grand Theft Auto, Spider-Man, Gran Turismo.
Yes, Spider-Man. What the hell's wrong with me? God damn. What the hell is wrong with me, Spider-Man? Smile. Come on now.
You're slipping. You're sleeping
Oh
over
my
there. I don't
God.
know what you're doing over there.
Kena, the Bridge of Spirits. And just because it looks adorable, like Astro Playground.
I saw that. And, okay, the Astro Playroom. Yeah, that one. I thought it was weird, but just because it's like cute little robots, I'm like those cute little robots. There were 2 games that kind of sat on the fence with. One of them was Pragmata, and that was the one where I don't know if you guys remember that. It's the guys or whoever's in the spacesuit, and he walks into the little girl. And all of a sudden that little girl's eyes change.
Yeah.
Like,
What's the one? What's the one with that lady who's like almost doing like a Edge of Tomorrow type thing, where she's like the only astronaut and stuff, and she's trying to like fight for her life.
That was hold on, was that Solar Ash? No, that wasn't that one, was it?
Let me see, because I actually have a lot of them pulled up.
Okay.
I think that might be Solar
Ash. Just in case we wanted to rewatch some, we can share with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Let's see, hold on.
Come on, where are you?
No, that wasn't that one. That was a weird one. I'm actually gonna look too as well. Was it Oddworld? No, it couldn't be.
Oddworld. I remember that.
No, that I remember.
Was it Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, that because actually we got the trailer for the sequel. Horizon Forbidden.
I know which one you're talking about. Returnal. That was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one where the woman is. It took me a minute. I had to figure out what it was. No, it was Returnal. That's when the one where the woman's basically she's walking around. She's the only space person, and she wakes up, and the world's different every time she wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was that one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, my memory is there. It's just not there. That's how you know how bad I was paying attention, you guys. This is really like I really was glued to my screen doing that, just literally just doing this. But yeah, I put in that space fantasy horror because it's kind of that whole kind of mix because it's like you're like she's kind of walking out there, she's all alone.
Yeah.
But it's like for me, it's kind of just it's too out there for me. It's too weird.
Okay.
It's like I think there's a cusp. I think there's a level that it's like it's just too weird. And I think it's a little bit too weird for me. Like you have to kind of rein it back a little bit for me. But yeah, that one was there. But I did see the Pragmata one, and I kind of was like, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's just fake. I don't know if it's a real world, or if they're really on the moon, or if they're really on Earth. Because somehow on Earth they ended up on the moon, and she's able to breathe.
That I think that's it's trippy like that there.
Yeah, it was weird, but you had some like some really ones that were kind of like just there, and it's like for your casual gamers or like something like that, like you said, Astra's Playroom was one of them. You had your NBA 2K1, 2K21.
Yeah, I was never big.
Never do sports games.
Never a big sports games person. Although the graphics,
I know Daryl in the comments, he said that he does the sports games.
I will say that 2K21, it does look phenomenal. It looks really good, but sports games was never my thing. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, that one was the only one that I saw that they released for that. So I'm surprised they didn't release like a FIFA or anything like that. So
Me
that's
too.
Shocking to me.
Right.
There was no FIFA, there wasn't anything like that. It was just that.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just going through my.
So, I was like, any ones we want to watch, I pretty much have almost all of them here.
Then there was like that weird kids one, like with the food animal one. And I was like getting creeped out watching.
It was like what was it called, Bug Snacks?
Island of Bug Snacks. Yeah,
but
I don't know, but I was gonna say
with an X.
I'm gonna say this. This is probably that one game, or one of many games. Probably, there probably might have been some games in the past that's like that, but this is one of those games where you might have to maybe, roll up one and play. And
I mean, if you're gonna be real about it. I mean, it is what it is. Let's not.
Not that we're like trying to encourage that sort of a thing, but that's what I was kind of. I was like, man, you gotta roll something up in order for you to do this, I think.
Yeah, it's like one of those weird. It's one of those like weird games. I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, and like her arms are changing into food, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, my wiener hands. I can't carry anything, and I'm like,
your wiener hands.
What?
That's what I'm talking about. You gotta kind of be like under the influence with this one, I think.
Yeah, probably. That's probably one of them little session games or something.
Yeah, that one and the other one, the Little Devil Inside. Now, the thing is, I'm wondering.
Disclaimer: we here at Council of the Blurds do not encourage drug use of any kind. It's just humor, y'all. Okay, humor.
Yeah,
now we turn you to the Council of the Blurds.
Yeah, Little Devil Inside. I was cool until they started panning back to the old guy, and I'm starting to wonder if he's like traveling through his intestinal tract.
What?
Hey, look, they're just trying to.
I think I missed that one.
I think I missed that one too. I think they're just trying to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. I think that's what's happening here.
You know what? I'm thinking about that one indie game that I saw where I can't.
But
yeah, that's
another one that looked cool. But I would probably never play it. Demon Souls.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I was on the fence with.
I don't know.
I didn't have any words for it because it looks so generic in a particular sense. Like, it looks so typical Japanese.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't have any words for it either way. Like, I wasn't excited for it, but like if somebody gave it to me, I'd play it.
Like, I download the demo. I would do that just to see how it is and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's what the bottom line is at. Because you're really looking at, you're like, is this like, I'm looked at it, I'm like, it's like, it looks cool, but it looks like I said, you're very stereotypical Japanese game. Really isn't. It doesn't look as much of a storyline. Didn't really give you much to go on. Right. You're just kind of like, okay, it's definitely like, you know, that open world type of sense, but I
Yeah.
really wasn't here nor there with it. I was kind of like, and I kind of felt bad because I think it was one of the ones that said that was dear to his heart. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I kind of felt bad because it's just like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, if you gave it to me with the game, I'd play.
Right.
If the PlayStation came with that, and I'd play it that way. But that's probably the only way I'd play. I wouldn't go out of my way. Or if I got it for like $5,
Yeah.
that's probably the only way I play it. Sorry to say that. I apologize to. I didn't catch his name. I do apologize, but I do apologize to you. I really didn't see anything good about the game. And then you had your like I said, your mediocre games. You had that one. Oh, you had the Horizon Zero Dawn
Sequel.
Sequel, which I never played the first one.
Me
I
neither.
have no interest in playing the first one.
Yeah.
Second one looks just like the first one.
Yeah. So, like, I had first thought it was gonna be like, are they gonna like, is this like a remaster of Zero Dawn? Is that what it is? I figured like, nah, this has to be a sequel or something like, because.
Yeah.
But like, no.
Yeah, it didn't pique me. And they saved it for last. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you usually save your best for last. I would think what they should have did. And I know Bethesda has a very bad what's the word for reputation.
Yeah.
But that should have been your last one.
Yeah.
That should have been your mic drop.
All right. So, in fact, that makes me wonder, like, what would you have liked to see in this press conference? Like, what games would you have liked to see?
I actually, you know what? I'm going to even say this. I'm actually surprised not to see, and this is just maybe just me. I'm surprised not to see any, of the bigger name games. So like you're not like your Assassin's Creeds, your
Right.
your usual like releases. Like you usually get your Lara Crofts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're like your big name games and nothing's happening. And I know you Harold, you mentioned the Cyberpunk. My understanding was Cyberpunk was going to stay on the PS4 system. They weren't going to switch over. I don't know if it's going to change because I think the release is still before the actual release of the PlayStation 5.
Right.
They'll probably do what they did with them a couple of games because there's a few games that came out for PS3, and then once the PS4 came out, they released like a version on there too. In fact, Injustice: Gods Among Us was one of the titles that I'm thinking about because it came out for the PS3, and then like maybe a few months after that, the PS4 came out, and then they had a version of Injustice: Gods Among Us for the PS4 as well. I guess they.
The thing is, when you do that, you have to change engines.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is that when you change engines, the play is not the same as it was in the previous engine. So imagine working on a game for 5 years or so, and then the new one's coming out the next year. Like you're going to have to get that profit as soon as later. So you're going to want to get it out as quickly as possible because when you get ready to go change that engine, you're going to have issues.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's the reason why people were so upset with Kingdom Hearts 3. It took so long for it to come out on PlayStation.
Right.
They never put one back out. You just don't want to do that. You don't want to put the anticipation back out, and you're not able to provide it. So I definitely think that move would probably be better because it's probably going to still be people that have a PS4 at the end of the year. Because a lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people don't have the resources to buy one. They won't have the resources to buy one by the end of the year.
Right.
I feel like they'll do just fine.
Just real quick, I'm checking the chat right here. Cliff Washington, he asked, I wonder when the new Xbox is coming out. First of all, I don't give a damn about Xbox. All right, I'm gonna just let you know that right now. I don't give a damn about. I ain't never owned an Xbox.
Discussion, okay?
But I would have.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, Cliff.
But I imagine the next Xbox is coming out around the same time the PlayStation 5 is coming out, like later on this year. Like I believe,
interesting.
Xbox had like their press like a while ago. Like they're unveiling of their new console like a minute ago. So I would imagine it's coming out like sometime later on around the holiday season, actually.
But I also wonder what's going to happen as far as the pandemic is concerned, and how it's going to affect release dates going forward. How much production can be done before they can actually do this? So that was the other question as well. We'll probably inflate the price that we see coming up for this holiday season because they're going to have to make the money back for the ones that they have. which is probably why we don't have the specs, because we don't have information, because they probably haven't been able to kind of put everything together.
Right.
He said the X is better. Pause. That's
Go.
a matter of opinion. That
Well,
is a matter of opinion, okay? Mr.
I
Washington?
am not going to dignify that with a response.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a matter
so
of opinion.
I am not going to dignify that.
I will respect your opinion, even though it's the wrong one. I'm kidding.
I think it's about time. I think it's about time that we incorporate bipartisanship as far as video games. It's neither PlayStation or Xbox.
It's PC in general now.
We should get along, because I think is it true? Maybe I might have read wrong, and maybe I might have reported wrong. But is not Fortnite like the only game that actually you can play cross consoles?
I think that's
cross-platform.
I'm
not sure. It might be a couple more.
Yeah.
You might have a couple more that can be played.
Oh shoot! Let's look it up. Yeah. Shoot, we got phones.
You know me and Google. Hold on, wait a second. As soon as I can spell.
Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Because both video games are good on both sides.
Fortnite, Dauntless, Rocket League, Smite, Paladins, Realm Royale, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Warzone, Need for Speed Heat, No Man's Sky, Brawlhalla, Super Mega Basketball 2, Fantasy Strike, World of Warships Legends, Minecraft, Power Rangers Battle of the Grid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a couple. We got a couple out there. A couple of cross-platformers there. All right. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I was surprised.
So it is possible for the PlayStation and the Xbox to both shake hands?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first of all, we didn't come to the table with the heat, okay? We didn't bring the heat to the table, okay? We just took it and put it out. That's all we did. We just put the fire out. That's all we tried to do, okay?
There we go.
I'm like, that's all we try to do. Don't bring the heat here. We're good. We're good, okay? I'm just saying, you're entitled to your own opinion on that particular matter.
Just keep that opinion in your head and don't say it around PlayStation. That's all I'm saying.
No, Mr. Washington, it's okay. We love you none the same. We love you the same. So basically,
I mean, actually, if they ended up incorporating a lot more cross-platforming, that'll actually be all for the better. If I'm going to be honest with you,
that'd be nice. That would also be very nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't get like a. I was actually looking for a new God of War. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for a new.
Awesome.
Yes.
I think people are tired of it. To be honest with you. People are tired. It's like at this point, how long can you just? Like it's the same thing with Assassin's Creed. I hate to say it. I'm an Assassin's Creed friend, but after a certain point, you're like, come on now.
Look, I'm ready for Kratos to battle the. He already battled the Greek gods. He's still battling the Norse gods. I want him to battle the Egyptian gods. I want him to battle the Shinto gods. I want him to just globetrot all over fighting gods.
I have a very, very strong feeling that we will see Kratos again.
I'm like, I want to see some. I need some.
Yeah, because the bottom line is that they're always gonna bring back a lot of or things that they're gonna do. Like I'm surprised there was no Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, Warzone.
And like Warzone's probably keeping a lot of their time, but I'm really shocked that they're like a lot of these games that are coming out. I'm really shocked that a lot of these popular ones, they're probably like, I think enough is enough.
But it's funny because one of my friends on Facebook, he was saying that he's not really a big fan of games that are like movies. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sucker for a good story, especially if it's a video game. That'll keep me invested. That'll keep me invested in the game some more. And
I love that.
I feel triggered.
And it's funny because I've heard a lot of people say that they don't
like cinematics. Yeah, a lot of people don't like cinematics.
I mean, like I can understand that part, but sometimes it's like I get a crack out of watching a cinematic because of the fact that exactly it's a break. I can run to the bathroom, especially if I've seen it already. I can run to the bathroom. I can grab a snack.
Living room, and I go into the living room. I see kind of like, are you playing or is this a movie?
Yeah, and sometimes, depending on the game that you're in, sometimes your cinematic actually has action in the middle of your cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you think you're playing a game, and you're like, oh, I'm about to watch this. Oh, I just died. Okay. What just happened?
It tells you to press X.
Yeah. Like
Then it tells you to press O.
Yeah, all the the quick time event.
Yeah, and you're like, hold on. You're like, wait a second. When did that happen? Because you got comfortable.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4. That battle with Leon and that other guy. It was like, I was like, I just want to sit down and watch him fight. I don't want to like, I gotta press X. Oh damn.
Like it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing a game, so I should probably not put this down for a second. But
as a person who could appreciate, like I said, I'm my favorite game is BioShock, and that's bottom line. It's my favorite game out there. And BioShock has always been like a whole, like, it's all about the theatrics of it all. You know, you kind of walk into theatrics. Everything's kind of theatric. But I'm kind of like into that because I think it brings me into the storyline a little bit better. And it's like, what I don't like is when it's overkill. So when how I felt about Final Fantasy VII, about the remake, and I kind of said it, I was like, their cinematics were overkill.
They padded that game. They padded that game a great deal with cinematics. Like even I'll admit it was like, oh okay, we can kind of move this along now.
It was a lot. It was a lot of filler. It was a lot of filler, and I'm like, and you can feel it as a person who never played the original game. A ton of filler, and I'm like, and I said it flat out. I'm like, I can tell this game's a lot shorter than what it actually is, because I don't remember playing as much as that game as actually was required. And you know, I can understand at that point, because when it just becomes more of a movie setup and everything else, you're kind of going into like a actual, like, you're going from like one scene, like I want to say the last Uncharted did it the best, where you kind of go from like one scene and you wake up and you're in the train and you're like, oh crap, what am I doing here? And now I gotta kind of have to climb up now. You kind of have to make that transition very smooth into the next scene. And Final Fantasy really didn't do that. It was kind of like, okay, here's your scene and go. Like wait a second, like where's my transition? Like where am I? Like because you knew it wasn't there in the original. You can tell. So I can get that. But as far as like telling the story, I think the scenes help the story progress better, because there's a lot of things you can't get from just playing the game. Like, you just can't get it.
It's not like in the 60s era where, you know, you got a quick text or something like that. Or if you're like us, you had a game manual that came inside your game when you got it, and it laid out the main story right there. Like there was that
entire story.
Exactly, and that's all you. If you were interested in knowing what the story was, it was right there, and then you just played the game. You know.
Exactly.
But
you know, I think who was the first one to probably even do storylines to that particular? So was it Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat kind of had a story. In fact, really, all the games we had back then kind of had a story. Mario had a story.
But you just didn't pay attention to it.
But I'm saying, as far as like putting it into like the actual gameplay itself, like where do it even start? Was that even, you know, I'm wondering where that even started, where like they kind of put that gameplay.
It might have been the first couple of Final Fantasies. They might have did it.
I'm not too sure, but like.
Or Zelda, Legend of Zelda, probably.
Maybe, because I'm like, you kind of throwing in like, where did that actually transition, where we were just playing platformers and just like it told a story. You kind of knew the story, but it wasn't like. But you like legitimately went from like, this is telling me like the entire story, like the beginning to end. Like I know exactly what's going on.
I think the first one that legitimately gave me a semblance of a story was like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That might have been the first one to actually do it. Beforehand, I had no idea that Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles were like a separate game. I mean, I had no idea they were supposed to be like together. But like that was the one that did it for me. And then like of course like Mortal Kombat. Like, especially Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 is where it really lets you get an idea of what the story's about.
Yeah, and that's the one that I remember. That's why I kind of said it was a Mortal Kombat, because that's the one I remember, because you kind of got that storyline by playing the campaign game.
Exactly.
Question. Somebody actually said you had an idea about Mortal Kombat yesterday. What was your idea?
I put out a couple of videos, actually, yesterday about... One was basically how I would fix the story more for Mortal Kombat 11 and Aftermath. Another video was how you can create one game, well, like the sequel game, based on one of the good endings. And then the other one is basically a DLC idea based off the bad ending. That's pretty much what I did. So like as far as fixing the main storyline for MK11, I just fixed a couple of plot points that I figured they could have like really like dug into as far as the story is concerned. Like, having some characters mourn the death of others. Like maybe certain fights can happen instead of the ones that actually happened in the game. And then like even Aftermath, the way those things went. I mean, even though Aftermath I didn't really mind too much, but there was like just like one particular character that everyone seems to have a problem with that I could just kind of change up. And that was Sindel. Everyone has the problem with the way Sindel was rewritten for Mortal Kombat 11. So I kind of just fixed that. And then the sequel game based off of the good ending is basically, it would be a prequel game. Because the way it ended with Fire God Liu Kang lends itself to being a prequel game, dating back to when, like the great Kung Lao first won his tournament. And then the DLC idea comes from the Shang Tsung ending for Mortal Kombat Aftermath, where you can just pretty much continue the story and incorporate characters that existed in like the Midway timeline that don't exist now. So it's just something simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Harold. I mean, thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you, and Daryl. Yeah, you too. Thank you too, Daryl. Thank you for that. Thank you for all that too.
But what did you guys, as far as the other lesser known games that we saw on the actual show, like, did you think those were like even worth putting in there, or kind of fillers?
I'm gonna have to see more. Really, I'm gonna have to see more. They gave a couple of demos of like playthrough for like certain games, like Ratchet and Clank comes to mind. They played a little bit of that. I just gotta see more of it and stuff, and I make a determination from there. But as far as it stands, there's only like maybe like a handful of games that we saw today that I would like definitely buy.
Did we talk about Deathloop?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Yes, we did.
I thought we did.
That was the one I was like, BioShock, Fallout. I have no clue where that came from.
Yeah.
I just came from left field. I was like,
yeah.
I'm still stuck on that game because that really just came. It legitimately came from like, it was like, because what was before it was Demon Souls, the one I had no words for it.
Yeah.
That was before it, and then all of a sudden this came out. And I'm like. Because it was looking like bland to like whoa, and it accentuated it way too much. It was like maybe it's like when you're hungry and you eat food, and every food tastes too good. Like maybe it was because I had too bland, previews ahead of that, and then you're doing that one, and I'm like,
oh
is
snap,
it really that good? And like, or is it really that good? Like,
right.
But bottom line, they kind of gave us peeks in between. So the first thing they gave us a peek of when we were actually watching was the controller.
Right.
They went right into the controller. But they basically explained like the little things about the controller, the haptic feedback, the adaptive trigger, which I really think is really cool because that'll make a difference if you're playing shooter games, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
The motion sensor, the built-in microphone with 3D audio, and the DualSense. And actually, I think we were talking before. Actually, my computer decided to spaz out earlier. We were talking about the haptic feedback. So I had to look it up. I was like, something just sounded like I have to figure out what this is.
Right.
And I know that they said the Switch already has it. I don't have a Switch, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Somebody wants to, give me a Switch. No.
We are taking donations. Yeah. We are taking game donations. If you would like to see us put some gaming on this channel, we're taking donations. So definitely feel free to contribute to our gaming fund and such.
Yeah.
We highly appreciate it. We appreciate it a great deal.
I would totally love you guys forever and ever and ever. I think we all will love you forever and ever and ever at this point. But yeah, the haptic feedback for me, and we were kind of explaining it because it sounds like it's the DualShock controller, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it's a little bit different, it changes in intensity. So it's not like the DualShock. The DualShock just gives you like that rumble vibration every time something happens, or like depending on where you are in the game, something kind of just triggers and just shakes the whole controller. Where this kind of is a response type of thing. So like, depending on what you're doing, it kind of just responds that way. So it could be a soft click, or like a soft vibration to mimic a click, or it could be getting shot.
Yeah.
So you can get that feeling of just like you get that big rumble in your hand, and that's like, whoa, what just happened? It goes from a different dynamic, and I think that's really cool to have on a controller because that really changes your experience.
Right.
It almost makes it almost a 3D experience without being 3D. Which I think is really cool. Like I said, the adapted trigger, which we already know, that's basically if you're a first-person shooter type person, like I like Fallout and stuff like that. That's going to change your gunplay because different guns shoot different ways.
Right.
So you're going to be pulling that trigger a different way. So you're going to have to play these games a little bit differently, and I think that's really cool how they have that set up.
Just want to jump in the comments real quick. Victor Landel says he's excited about the new games, especially the Robotic Girl one, Pragmata. He's excited about it. Daryl says he would like to see them bring back Ninja Gaiden. They did bring it back for I think PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
they brought back Ninja,
and it wasn't as popular. But
it wasn't
as popular.
Yeah,
it wasn't the same Ninja Gaiden. But I mean, I would like to see if you're going to do all of that. I would like to see them bring back the traditional Ninja Gaiden, just with super ultra ridiculous features.
Yeah.
It's the same
thing. Original arcade game, like the original arcade game. I mean, the Ninja. That had to be pardon my language, the ass-kickingest ninja I've ever seen. When it was in the arcades, I'm not talking about the Nintendo version. I'm talking about it was punch, high kick, punch. He was ripping people up. I love Ninja Gaiden.
Victor also said that he's happy to see that these games are announced because, in my opinion, there's going to be a lapse in great AAA games. Probably. Yeah.
And if you actually looked at the actual games, a lot of these games are not releasing. Like the games that we're talking about, we really like, they're not coming out until 2021.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of the ones that we are really gung ho about. So a lot of these games that we're on the fence, they're going to come out in 2020.
Yeah.
More incentive for me not to buy it until next year.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lose anyway. But it's more incentive that not going to buy it until next year. So.
Love you too, Victor.
Oh, okay. How sweet.
That's my brother. He also said that I guess the control, yeah, with the 3D touch.
I saw that too. Yeah, because they actually have they show you with a little glass setup.
Yeah,
and they kind of show the glass moving kind of a certain way. But it's I guess the motion sensors are kind of sound the same way in the actual controller as well.
Right.
Which I think is really cool because even though the PlayStation 4 motion sensor is there, it's kind of still iffy.
Yeah.
If you ever played with the motion sensor, I'm playing right now, Death Stranding.
Mm. Yeah.
Trust me, it's triggering my nerves. It's just right there. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just oh my god.
That's what I hear a lot about that game.
It's triggering my anxiety. It's come on now. I'm I just went through a bunch of I just cleared this area and now it's full again. Why?
Yeah.
But the controller, you're shaking BB and BB's not responding with your controller. Your controller's moving, but BB's moving at a different rate.
Right.
So you're kind of it's there, but it's not there. So I would love to see how they improved upon it with the PS5.
Yeah.
To see if they actually made it so that way it's actually, a consistent type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of everything, after we got, our Horizon Zero Dawn sequel preview, they finally gave us what the PS5 looked like. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to actually, if it makes more sense to do this, I wanted to go around and see what everybody's opinion was when they first saw it. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ken, what did you think?
It's an interesting design. It's something I definitely wasn't expecting. I mean, if we look at the track record for PlayStation consoles, the first one, regular rectangle with a center lid. PlayStation 2, flat or tower. PlayStation 3, much more round, but still flat, but still tower. The PlayStation 4 kind of went back to its roots of being flat. I like the design of the PlayStation 4. This was interesting. I didn't know what to expect for the design of a PlayStation 5. It was. I don't hate it. The thing is that I don't hate it. I think it's very unique. It's very unique than what other consoles are doing with their systems. We look at the what is the latest Xbox called again? I didn't bother to remember what name it is. I don't really care.
It had a number.
Xbox over here.
But it
had a number next to it or something.
It looks like a. What does it look like? It looks like one of them. I'm thinking it looks like something here.
Oh, God.
Wait.
I cannot with you guys.
It looks like that. The newest Xbox looks like that. It looks like my sound. Looks like my sound tower. That's what it looks like. I'm not buying that.
The Series A, is that what it's called, or something like that?
Series X or something, man. I don't even care, man. Like, no, dog. Like, no.
I'm curious now. I gotta see. I gotta see what this looks like.
And for those who haven't seen it, it's literally like a box with a little indent on the top with the green light on the top gleaming out of it when it's on. And the CD slot is actually on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
It's
all right. So let me. What?
Xbox
Exactly.
Series X. If you look it up, Xbox Series X, they haven't really changed the controller. Nothing's changed. It just literally is a tower now. So it's no longer a lay down system. It is a tower.
It's a box.
Yes, it's a box.
Tower.
It's a whole box.
They put the box in Xbox.
It's a whole Amazon box. I want to hear that. People kill me out here. No, forget all that.
Let me show y'all.
I mean, it's also clear. PlayStation 5 is not meant to be. Is not meant to lay down. It's see what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? It got vents on the top. What's this? What's this?
And that's what my concern is with the Xbox, is that with the vents being on the top, I'm wondering how the ventilation going to be.
It's like
because most of the systems are ventilation on the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
So Harold, when you first saw the PlayStation 5, what did you think?
Well, if I can summon one of the characters that I've created, Geraldo.
God.
First of all, I just want to say that all of you are sexy. Each one of you have a sexy. But this PlayStation 5 is very sexy. Sexy, darling. I love the way it looks. I mean, I could just stare at it. I mean, it's got the blue lights and everything, and it kind of like comes up almost flower-like, darling. Almost like it's blooming. Okay, if you know what I'm saying to you, it's like a lotus.
It's very artistic. It's very artistic.
I truly like the way it looks. Seriously.
Tani, what about you?
I felt the weirdest case of deja vu ever, and was like racking my brain on whether or not they leaked it, because I feel like I've seen it already. I'm like,
really?
I love the design. It's kind of, I don't know. Looks like a tower. It is a tower. Looks like a building.
It looks like a futuristic tower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As I said, that's why I said like a building I should walk in.
Yeah, and that's
right.
That I think that I'm a little conflicted. I personally am a little conflicted. I think it's because I'm so used to the PS design for so long, being there and being able to kind of have that versatility to lay it down and set it up. And I think at this point you are kind of forced to stand this up as a tower. That's it. It's a tower now.
That is one thing I was thinking about, because I was like looking at our little our gaming setup right now, and I'm like, how this gonna fit?
Where we gonna put it?
Yeah, exactly. It's putting you in a position where it has to kind of sit up.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, artistically, it looks beautiful, but again, I'm only seeing it from the front end. I'm not seeing it from the back. So I'm like, all my mindset is basically going venting. Where is my venting? Is it on the top? Is it on the back? Is it on the bottom? Is it like, I noticed that basically where the control fittings are, I think, are on the back of the system now.
Mm.
From what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see it on the front end. Actually, I'm going to actually play this really fast because somebody actually pulled up the reveal again, and I'm going to replay it again because it looks like to me that there's venting all the way from the front of the system all the way down the back.
That might be what it is actually.
And that the actual, oh God, I can't even see it. It's so small. Hold on. I'm having a moment. This is so it does look like the controller setup is still in the front, but it's very hard to tell. Like, and it's just like your regular, like your USB setup.
Right.
And right now we have two in the front of ours.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, what's the point of having a USB setup if you're talking about, having like a separate charging stand for your PlayStation, for your controllers?
Right.
So literally, like, you're just basically like, what is it, just for like a landline and that's it, or just like a USB port and that's it. And the second thing is, like, you look at the design from the digital to the non-digital version.
I got it. So you could talk.
Yeah, you look at the digital to the non-digital version, and automatically you see a difference.
Yeah.
Immediately, you see that like curvage on the
yeah.
Well, when you're looking at it on the one side,
yeah,
it's kind of curvier, and when you look at the digital one, it's a little bit more sleek.
Yeah, like it's like the digital version is definitely like more balanced, like on both sides.
Yeah, and it's kind of disturbing me. It's messing up my aesthetic purpose. I'm sitting there looking at it like, it doesn't look as good with a CD person. It's like, for me, it's a person who has the CD, who would want the CD drive, because I want the box sets. I want the the steel sets.
Look at that thing. It is so sexy. I mean,
but I think it's apparent that we can definitely see where the vents are for the system.
Yeah.
Like it's right there in the front.
It's right there in the front, but it looks like it goes
and
all
also
the way
on the
to
top.
back.
Yeah,
it looks like it goes all the way to the front, top to the back. And my concern is, one of the biggest things that happens with a lot of these systems is that if you live in an area where you have a lot of, I hate to say infestations, infestation problems, one of the biggest problems you have is they crawl into vents.
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of people return these systems or trying to get the systems fixed because you're going to have insects trying to get into those vents because it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my biggest concerns right now. Like, I'm looking at it, and I get what they do because they're putting more in the system. So the hard drives are kind of bigger, everything's kind of bigger. But look at it. Look at the size of the non-digital to the it's a difference.
It looks like a sexy book.
I mean, like I said, it is blooming like a flower. I mean, it's beautiful.
Like a vase. It's not a flower.
That's what it looks like. Yes, it looks like that. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yes, it kind of looks very vase.
Now, my question is he going to come with all this together? Or am I going to buy this separately?
No,
probably not.
No.
Yeah.
This is a whole PlayStation. If you buy all that, you can pay $1,000.
Yeah.
Well over $1,000.
This would actually be a good time for them to strategize all that and possibly create like a super deluxe bundle pack with all this stuff included.
Again, you have to kind of gauge where everybody's going to be, especially American.
That's true also.
American consumer right now.
Yeah.
Most people, the unemployment is up. Unemployment is way up. Now, a lot of people are making more money on unemployment, don't get me wrong, but unemployment is up. Everything, we don't know where we're going to be in 6 months, rather than, next month.
I don't know, man. That digital edition, man, I don't know. It looks so balanced.
Yeah,
I'm leaning towards that, but I'm kind of like you. I like to have hard copies of the games.
Yeah. Like, I like to have my disc. I like to have my steel books. I love my steel books.
It's like, it's like, I mean,
you kind of.
It's so hard.
You're hurting because, and the thing I also want to know is that, we don't know what the specs are. Does it change when they actually put more memory in there?
Right.
Or when they put another hard drive in there? When they put, what changes at that point when you have to put extra stuff in there?
Right.
Those things are kind of concerning me at this point because we don't know anything yet. We don't know if this is coming 1 terabyte, 800. We don't know what the actual standard is right now.
Because I can tell you right now, my PlayStation 4 has an external hard drive hooked up to it.
Exactly.
Like,
So I have a 1 terabyte external.
Me too. So it's like, hey man, we gotta Sony, y'all gonna have to fix that. Y'all gonna have to get that together. Especially if y'all kicking out a digital edition. No, y'all gotta have Uber space for that.
I'm like, you're at least, and that's some bare minimum.
You're
You're
right.
gonna have to come with 1 terabyte,
Right?
Or at least 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to come with at least, because
exactly.
You're looking at your games take up most space.
Yeah.
Your games are gonna take up majority of space, and it's just memory.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to have to delete a game every time I kind of go through it. I have to delete this from my memory, go back in, put this one in, delete, and then now when I want to replay it, I got to download it again.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I don't. At the same time, you know how it is formatting a hard drive.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's easy, but it's not. Like the first couple of times you do it, it doesn't catch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because I went through that same exact thing, and it was
so. If I'm gonna pay all this money, I don't want to have to pay an additional amount of money to get another hard drive.
Exactly.
I'm expecting, especially with the fact that you're talking about these games being, 4K capable, which takes up more memory.
Right.
You're gonna have a lot of things that are gonna be taking a lot more memory. I'm expecting you to at least be coming with at least 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you come with me with a 500 gigabyte. I'm like,
nah, dog.
Really?
Why not, dog?
Even 800, you coming at me sideways, like you cursing at me now. I really don't want. I really legitimately want you to come at me with a 1 terabyte hard drive at least. And especially, and I know this leaked earlier. That I believe that the British, somewhere in Britain, it actually leaked the price. And I believe it was like £550 over there, which is about $600 or some change our money.
$600.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll wait.
Change our money. And no offense, I'm like, that's more than my car payment.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's more. I'm like
what? PlayStation 4 at launch was like how much?
I think $300 max. I think what it was, wasn't it?
Like
$399.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
$399, and then if you wanted the upgrade, like for memory and everything, it was $499.
Right. I bought my PS4 for $350. $350. All right, $350. That's what I did because
I say we're willing.
He bought it for about $350.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we're willing to pay about the cost of rent on a phone. So
yeah,
the cost of the PS5 isn't terrible.
But the thing about the phone is that I can pay that over time.
That's true.
I don't have to pay
now. I mean, unless
even then, I can trade my phone in before it's actually due and get another one.
I don't put on your credit card. You can pay over time.
Yeah, like
yeah. I don't want to do that. That's a risk I'm not.
If Amazon is anything, because I've seen that there's some things where you can pay overtime on Amazon. Maybe that might be a route to go.
Companies have afterpay now.
Yeah, so that might be a route to go. So, just to jump in the comments real quick. Daryl asked if we played on Streets of Rage 4 yet. I've been thinking about it. I'm not.
I didn't say I'm sorry.
Daryl asked if anyone's played Streets of Rage 4 yet. I was thinking about it. It looks good, but I didn't play Streets of Rage a lot as a kid. It's a cool game. I just never really got into it like that. Maybe if I'm extremely bored, maybe I will. Victor says the fan is at the bottom and the vents at the top, which is pretty much what I think we pretty much gathered that, especially for the Xbox box. Got a whole vent up top, so I'm not. Y'all go ahead with that.
That's what he's talking about. Talking about his Xbox.
Probably. He said the bearded beast.
I think he was talking about the. I think he was talking.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah, he said yeah. Oh, he said look like Eva from WALL-E. Oh, that's why it's so adorable. Eva.
That sounds about right too. The bearded beast said the Tower of Power. Yeah, what you talking about? The PS5.
Yes.
Or the Xbox. Better be talking about the PS5.
But here's the thing. He said that the actual price that we saw was a false leak. The price was not
they probably don't have a set price yet. They probably don't.
Even then, let's be realistic. Let's talk about inflation. Let's really talk about inflation there.
Mm-hmm.
If the last one was we're talking about almost $400 for the last PS device. What do you think this was going to be? Let's just throw a price out there. $599.
The price of gaming systems don't increase as much as other things do.
I mean, if we look at
I'm
history,
I'm
yeah,
thinking even about when I was a kid, and that was really the last time I really bought gaming consoles, and those were like what, $250 and $300. That's
gaming
really
consoles were actually not that. I mean, yeah, like because like my Sega Genesis was like how much? Maybe $300.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and that was in a different, it was a different time because it were a limited thing. It was a newer
And
thing. But
game and games were expensive as hell back then too.
exactly.
Like I
And
remember
then,
seeing games for like $70. I'm like, what?
but
The heck?
you have to
But
think it was a different time.
yeah,
Like the items were limited. Things we didn't have the competition. We didn't have
yeah,
the things that we have now. So now that the parts are cheaper, things are
yeah.
coming out.
Like the
The parts are
PlayStation,
cheaper,
Right.
but
like PlayStation 1 was like what? I feel like PlayStation 1 was like 200.
that was $199. I remember
Yeah,
that.
It was
PlayStation
$199. Yes.
PlayStation 1 was like 200. The PS2 I think was like on the side of like 300. I think the
We were
P
12 when
yeah,
the PlayStation came out.
yeah,
Well, you and I were
Right.
12.
yeah.
I don't know how old the other two are.
I see.
I will never disclose my age. I'm sorry. I do apologize about
Mhm.
that. That's not gonna happen.
I think I was about 27 when that came out. 27, 29, yeah, about that time. I think about 27, 28, I guess.
I'm a vampire. I will never say my age.
The PlayStation 3 at launch was 600. Everyone knew that. The PlayStation 3 at launch, talking about the original Fat Boy, was at 300, 600.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't see any difference. It's like let's be realistic about it.
Yeah.
I don't see any difference in the pricing. Like, if we're talking about like if the last one was this much, this has more capability, and they have more, they're gonna raise that price, and they're gonna jack that up, and that's gonna be the difference between people going from PlayStation to Xbox. That's the reason why Xbox, the last gen Xbox wasn't so high of sales because it was that matter of features versus price.
Right.
A lot of people switched over to PlayStation.
And then, and now that we're thinking, and I think we touched on this before, but we talked about the whole backwards compatibility thing. At this point, it's a non-issue for me, especially with the way PlayStation does things now. I think, what is it, like PlayStation Now? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like play your old school games. Like you pay like a monthly subscription, and you get to play your old school games and stuff. To me, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the old games I gave away because I didn't have my Fat Boy PlayStation 3 anymore. So, but if I can find those games on PlayStation now, I'll probably look at that like probably sometime in the summer or something like that. I mean, I don't think it's that expensive. In fact, I think they dropped their price down because of like the pandemic and stuff. I think it was like $20.
A lot of things you can't find right now because of the pandemic. So so a lot of things are more scalpers trying to take advantage now of everything else.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a look at the library and see what they got because they got some of my all-time favorites, and I'll definitely keep them on that.
Yeah, but as far as as far as the gaming is concerned, I'm not even caring, and I believe the other thing that I'm concerned about is that the backwards technology. Am I going to be able to play my games on there?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to pop my CD? Because that's another thing. It's going to make a determination whether I get the digital or whether I get the actual CD version. Because if I get the one with the drive, and they say it's backward compatible, I'm going to go with the drive as much as it's going to hurt me that it's not symmetrical. I'm gonna go with one with the drive because that way I can just kind of pop my disc in there and play.
Yeah.
The games I haven't finished yet.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to finish those games and I kind of want to play them.
Yeah.
It's not saying I won't get rid of my PlayStation 4. I'll never get rid of my PlayStation 4.
Like, cause like I'm the same way too. I traded in my PS2 for the PS3. I really wish I hadn't done that, but at the time it was backwards compatible, so I figured I was in a win-win situation. My PS1 I just gave away because I didn't really see a need for having it anymore. Like a part of me still wishes I still kept them, but at the same time it's like don't really need to. But I guarantee I won't get rid of my PS3 or my PS4. Like I would definitely hang on to those.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time getting rid of my my PlayStation 2 because there's so many discs that I have that has
Yeah.
classic games on it.
Yeah.
Like there's a disc that I have called the Konami Classics.
Mm.
I love that disc to death. It has Gyrus. It has Rock and Roll. It has
Wow.
Yi Ar Kung Fu. Yi Ar Kung Fu, which to me I believe is like actually the first 2D fighter, if you want to argue that. Was it Gyrus? Scramble, Super Cobra, the side-scrolling shooters.
Yeah.
Those games, I can't part with those. I can't. And if something were to happen to my PlayStation 2 where it would stop working, I would actually be hurt.
I'm gonna be honest. I honestly think like the PS2 was probably one of the best built PlayStation systems that they ever made. Like it,
best.
Like
Yes,
I had a few issues with my PS1. I already suffered the yellow light of death on my original PlayStation 3. My PS4 is pretty, but PlayStation 2, I had no issue whatsoever with my PS2. Like none.
I had overheating issues. I had
Mhm.
overheating issues. That was like, and I'll tell you, I would have put a game in my PS2, and I went to play it and be a blank screen. I used to be so mad.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just me. That was just my PlayStation 2. I don't have my PlayStation 2 anymore. I'm probably not gonna miss it because I don't think there was a game on PlayStation 2 I would miss.
And whatever it is that you missed, you can probably just find it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And the only games that the only games I remember playing like back in the day was, like I said, Kingdom Hearts. That was my biggest game. Like Kingdom Hearts was like the biggest game I played, and I think that was PlayStation. Was that 3 or was that 2?
2.
It was 2.
2.
Right?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
like the first one came out on 2, and that was the only one that I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about it. Everything else kind of gave me a headache.
Yeah.
The graphics were just terrible. I couldn't do it. I preferred playing my Genesis at that time.
Mm.
I was still plugging in my Genesis and playing my Genesis.
Word.
But yeah, as far as I'm looking at the comments right now, they're saying PS4 games ago. The promise from Sony is that after The Last of Us and on games will play, they're also testing the other games.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
yeah, I think he was trying to say PS4 games are good.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense because because that's really what the bottom line is. Like,
yeah.
I just want to be able to kind of pop my game in because if you're talking about making this a stand-up console, I mean, I'm gonna have to kind of retire my PlayStation,
right?
Because I'm not gonna have the room for it, so I'm gonna have to kind of put it away in a safe spot and kind of just. And I don't have enough. Honestly, I don't have enough HDMI ports in the back of my TV. I don't.
Right.
I am. And it's like we're not going back to the day where I'm pressing the AB button to switch everything over. We're not going to do that.
Buy a splitter. Buy HDMI splitter if you can. That's what I did.
Yeah, I'm like we're gonna go back to those days, but I'm like, and have all these controllers laying around and everything.
Yeah.
It's just too much at this point. If I can retire my PlayStation, have it and retire it, and just in case something happens to the PS5.
Right.
I can always go back to the PS4.
Yeah.
That's definitely my option. But, that's the reason why I kept my PS3. It's always an option.
Yeah.
It happens to my PS4.
Right.
Hey, I need my PS3. I need to go pull that up.
Yeah.
Pop the games in and just play something there or, watch my YouTube or whatever.
Right. Like at this point right now, my PS3 is more so for like a backup to like entertainment than anything else.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. Like, so I got like all my streaming services on there. I didn't really put a lot of them on my PS4 because like I didn't want to take enough space. I really left my PS4 like really for games. Like it seems like the PS3 can handle just a little bit more, so that's why I kept my streaming services on there. So
but you got a 1 terabyte hard drive on your PS4. You don't gotta worry about it.
Yeah, but still, it's like
just throw it on the hard drive. That's what I do. Just do it on the hard drive. And therefore it still plays. I mean, as long as the hard drive's connected, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
That's right.
I'm like, especially with PS4 games, like the likelihood of you filling up your 1 terabyte is going to be slim to none at this point. Especially
that's true.
The PS5 next year.
Yeah.
So literally, bottom line, I think everybody's kind of, with the exception of maybe our Xbox fan in the background over there. With our Xbox fan in the background, I think everybody's kind of in agreement. Like we like the system. We so far like what they're offering us as far as the games are concerned. We're kind of excited that I just want them to keep their word. Like the last thing I want is for them to put out a game and that game does not come out until 2022.
Right.
That's my biggest, that's one of my other fears is that, like you want the games to kind of come out and flow, because that's another issue. When PS4 came out, there were no games.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That was the biggest problem with the PS4.
Yeah.
There were no games. There was nothing there. So you basically, like I said, I think when my mom got the game, cause I got it as a Christmas present. When mom got the PlayStation 4, I got it with a Lego game, and I remember turning that Lego game in as quickly as possible.
I'm thinking back to when I bought my PS3. Like, I bought my PS3. I didn't even buy a game yet. Because of the fact that it was backwards compatible, I was like, shit, I can just play my PS1 and PS2 games on here until a game that I like actually comes out. And then when the Spider-Man 3 game came out, I just got that. Yeah. But, like, it's important that, like, at launch, you have something that people can, like, quickly, like, engage with. Otherwise,
you're making me think what my first game was. I'm actually looking up now to see what my first game was. That I actually bought for the PS4. I'm like, it's gonna kill me now.
Like I said, my first PS4 game was Mortal Kombat X. That was the first one. In fact, yeah, exactly. In fact, I bought my PlayStation 4 right around the time Mortal Kombat X came out. That's exactly when I bought it. So, like, the PS4 had been out for, like, how long before that? So,
I legitimately think the first legitimate game I actually bought for PlayStation 4 was Little Big Planet. Now that I'm looking at these games. I legitimately think that's my first game. I'm looking at my collection, I'm like, it couldn't be, but I totally think it was. I was like, it might have been Skyrim. Let's throw that out there. It might have been Skyrim.
Right. So
it looks like it was like a dead shot between Big Planet and Skyrim. That was being my first legitimate game that I played on the actual PlayStation. But yeah, it's like you don't want something to come out. The second thing, I don't want to be able to. I don't want to get on and can't get on the PlayStation Network to update this stupid thing in the first place.
Right.
Let's not have that happen again ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. That was a horrible Christmas. That was a horrible Christmas. I couldn't even play my game until 3 weeks later. That was terrible.
Like, I think when I got my PS4, it might have taken like a day and a half to like really get itself together. I was like, damn. All right. Guess I'm playing Mortal Kombat tomorrow.
But the thing is that it's fine if you had, like, when I first got my PlayStation, it was that time that the network got hacked and everybody's system was down for 3 weeks. But the thing is that people that were already updated could play their games. I couldn't, because I need to update my game because I just got the console.
Right.
So I couldn't do a thing. So I'm just trying to think anything else anybody's saying in the yes, I'm guessing that Victor's agreeing with what we're just talking about just now. But yeah, totally. It's we have to just make sure, like, if you're gonna do this PlayStation, kind of just get this Sony exclusive.
Yeah.
Get this together, kind of put it out. Give us these games. Give us some big ticket games. Give us something to look forward to next year. Whereas, there's people that are spending their tax returns on this.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be wasting my tax return, I'm dropping these bills on this. I want to be able to drop my bills and be like, I want this, and this. Put it in there.
Ain't nobody getting no tax return next year. We all on unemployment.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, not me either, but
I'm essential.
I'm still working. I'm still working. So like,
yeah. These
that's awesome.
I'm self-employed. I always pay taxes instead of getting a refund.
Yeah, these essential employees don't know how to act.
I think all in all, and especially for anyone who's watching, I think it's automatically agreed that the PlayStation 5 is definitely going to be a must-buy. We're just going to have to wait for a little bit more news. We're going to we got to wait for the specs. We're gonna need like a spec, analysis. Hopefully some more titles. Hopefully they drop some more titles for us and stuff over the next couple of months or so. And
Can we pretty much say that what we saw was a snack or
Yeah.
It
a
was a
satisfying
It-
a satisfying appetizer at least?
It was a tease. I would say more of a tease because literally
More of a
they gave us
tease.
they gave us the games. They gave us I'm like dangle this in front of you. But you can't have it.
Yeah.
Can't have
Oh my
it.
gosh.
And
I said-
and I think with other press releases, they've definitely gotten more into the specs of the PlayStation system. They definitely didn't do it this time. We only just got a vision of it. We only just got a vision. That was it.
It's like you can see it, but you can't touch it.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's
And I
really what
think
it was.
A lot of it, and I think with E3, a lot of that changed too. Because
Yeah.
at E3, they would have
Yeah.
all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Right now.
Exactly.
E3,
Yeah.
because it didn't happen. So you're like, yeah, we can kind of dangle this in front of you and see what's going
Yeah.
on, and
Yeah.
yeah. See, I looked at the event earlier. They must have just updated it, Victor, because I didn't see specs earlier when we were actually doing the research. So yeah, if you definitely want to just put a link in the actual comments, we'll definitely look into it and see what's going on.
Yeah.
We really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I looked at it earlier, there was absolutely nothing there. It was just basically the Sony. That's it. And the specs that we had were the actual speculations that they had prior to the actual event.
Right.
Everything was still speculation at that point. Nothing was actually a matter of fact. So, and I don't want to put any speculation out there. That's the one thing I don't want to do.
Right.
I want to have, if it's legit and it's complete specs, definitely just give me a link in the comments. Let me know.
Right.
Yep.
But aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered everything that there was to cover about the press release today. I mean, I think so far it was a pretty good press release, considering that it wasn't live, that they had to do it, in the video format. We got to look at some pretty decent games that are going to be coming out in the next couple of months or so. And I think we're all pretty much in agreement that we ain't getting this thing this year. We're going to probably wait until next year.
Not this year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm confident.
Yeah, definitely.
Next year.
I think next year. I think they'll have to work out some of the kinks and all the other good stuff. And yeah,
Unless
so
I hit the lottery, it's not
Put
coming
it
out
on the
this year.
calendar for sometime next year. Council of the Blurs gameplay.
yeah.
There you go.
They're probably gonna have. Maybe you can probably do that one day. Maybe we can have like a super post-COVID. Sorry, I said the word already. My bad.
No.
Post-pandemic. Post-pandemic. Play.
PS5.
Play. Not even PS5. We can't even do PS4 at this point. It's just we have you guys pick a game for us.
Yeah.
And pick who's gonna play that game, and we're gonna see how it rolls.
Yeah.
Probably do it that way and just see how this rolls. I have a feeling we're gonna get some hilarity out of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We already know this.
Oh goodness, we're gonna get some hilarity out of this. But yeah, we'll probably have you guys pick something we can kind of, that we have to wait until we can gather now, but it's still not safe to gather now.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I think we did everything. I think we covered everything, and hopefully we're back to next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with another topic. We'll let you guys know within the next couple of days what our topic is going to be about. One thing I will say though, whatever information you guys may get on like the PlayStation 5, definitely swing it our way. We're all going to be doing our own little bit of research, continuous research and stuff to figure out what else is going to be good with this system. And I can definitely say I'm excited for the PS5. I'm definitely excited for it. So, I mean, I'll definitely get it, just not this year. So,
All right.
Need that stimulus check. Gotta run me my check, government. Come on now, stop playing.
We are not getting a second check. Okay.
Looks like my stimulus 2.0.
Yeah.
Stimulus 2.0.
Run me my money.
Yeah, stimulus 2.0 would be nice, but
I don't think it's
That
happening.
doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
With recent events, I think they're kind of taking precedence at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, hold on, wait. Because the last time we got it right.
We got it right last time.
Where can we find the council, and where can we find everybody else?
You can find us, of course, on Instagram individually or the actual council itself. You can find us on our Facebook fan page. I was trying to stream there today, but I got to work out a few kinks with Streamlabs. You can find us definitely here on YouTube, of course. Home base is. So if you're not subscribed to us, please do so you know exactly when we're going to drop another live stream. I want to thank everyone who came in today in the comments. Also, like what iTunes is it even iTunes anymore? Spotify, Stitcher, whatever podcast streaming service you got, we're on there. So definitely you can find us there. You can look out for the audio version of this sometime over the weekend. If not tomorrow, then definitely over the weekend. So
it's no Xbox hate. I'm sorry. It's all fun. It's all fun.
It's really not. Like I'm not like one of these other. We're not like these other gamers that like are like die hard, like one console. Like, you know, I genuinely don't hate Xbox. I really don't. It's just not my system. I just don't. I just prefer PlayStation over Xbox. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's no hate. It's love all the way around. Gamers love gamers.
Exactly. Like any way you can game. That's really what we're pretty much trying to say. Any way you can game, just game whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Steam, whatever. Any way you
whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Just keep gaming.
Yeah.
Actually, a PlayStation 5
games.
Just keep swimming.
If PlayStation can figure out a way to incorporate Steam into their
well, it's a Microsoft-based program, isn't it?
Is it?
I believe so.
But that's whack.
Wait, what?
Steam, like to be able to play Steam games and stuff. So, hey, wait a second, hold up. The Bearded Beast may come with a brilliant idea. We should get a GoFundMe for the PlayStation 5 for each of us. Hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Let's get it popping. Hold up. Wait a second. We got council gonna have to talk after this. Hold up. We're gonna have to talk about this after this. We might have to set that up. That might have to be a thing. We might have to send a GoFundMe fund for the PS5. That might have to be a thing. Once we find out what the cost of it, of course, is. So you know.
Exactly. I mean, if that happens, we can definitely do some multiplayer game streaming featuring all four of us.
Exactly.
And it will be hilarious.
Yep.
And you'll get a discount because you only have to buy 3 instead of 4. 2 of us.
Yeah, because
in
the same house. That's right.
Exactly. So we gonna have to look at that. We gonna have to look at that.
I don't think anybody's going to fit in the studio here. I really don't. I mean, I'm literally touching the walls right now.
we can fit in our living room.
Yeah, we can fit in our living room. Okay. You know, once quarantine is lifted, then yeah.
It is.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, guys, thank all of you guys for tuning in today.
Absolutely.
This was definitely a fun stream today. Sony, you guys have done it again, so you know we look forward to the PS5 and all these games you got coming out, and you will catch us next week with another show
at our regular time.
Exactly.
Yes, at our regular time.
As always,
the council has spoken.
Come on. Come on. That was like a whole 3-second delay.
I was waiting for Ken.
This is good. I told you it's gonna be the running joke.
And I did it at a regular speed. You can't tell me I was too slow. I did it at a regular speed. I said the council has spoken.
Ladies,
you guys show.
So ladies, who are new to our channel, we never get this right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get this right at some point. Maybe it'll be next year. We get it right. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I keep having choir practice. Nobody keeps showing up. I keep making food. I don't know.
All right, so I think what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to rehearse this before we go live next week. We got to do this a few times so we can get this right. We have to get markers and timing down, and we have to get like a stopwatch or something. I don't know what we're gonna have.
I'm about to have Kirk Franklin in the corner conducting everybody. You know,
I don't know what we're gonna have to do here. We will catch you guys next week.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night.